episode number 8. And today I have Miss Fabi with me. Hi, Fabi. How are you?
Hi, Benisa. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing so good. So good to see you. It's been a little
I
while.
know. I was gonna say that. It's so
Yeah.
nice to see you after a long time.
Yeah, it's been probably maybe 2 or 3 years, maybe. At
Yeah,
least 2 years, of course. Yeah. Yeah. How have you been?
I've been okay here at home with my kids.
So my listeners or viewers are probably wondering why Fabi is part of episode number 8 today. And I cannot wait for all of you to hear her story. And she's such an inspiration for a lot of women and people. So I want to start off by Fabi. Go ahead and tell our listeners and viewers a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, my name is Fabiola. I am from Mexico. I'm Mexican. I'm from Guadalajara, Jalisco. I have 4 children,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been here like for the last 30 years, 30 plus years. Yeah,
30 years.
yeah.
Have you always lived in Georgia?
No, when I came, I was living in California. I lived
Mm-hmm.
in California for 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
and then we moved to Georgia.
What made you decide to move to Georgia from California?
Well, because my ex-husband had some brothers living here, and
Oh, I see.
they all do the same work. They were they work in construction,
Mhm.
painters, and so they tell them, we can make a company all together. So if you move over here, and they were doing some like plans that work together and all that. That's why we
Mhm.
came here.
Oh, gotcha. California is a beautiful state.
Oh,
And I
it
know we've
is.
we've
I
talked
have my
about it.
children over there. Yeah, we
Yeah.
talked about it when you move
Yeah.
over there. I was so excited because at the beginning I didn't adjust well here. I didn't like it, and I felt, oh, I want to go back. I want to go back. But now that I've been living here all this time, my daughters love it here, and they're so
Mhm.
happy here. So we'll settle down here. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, after a while, it just kind of grows on you, right?
yeah.
And the Southern hospitality is also unlike none, I would say, from being all over the country.
I share
Um,
that opinion. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So, what are we drinking today? Your choice was tea. Have you had a chance to
Yes.
try your tea?
No, but I'm gonna do it right now.
So for my virtual podcast, I've been using
Oh, so so
DoorDash.
good.
Is it good? I've been using
Yes.
DoorDash, so shout out to DoorDash. Maybe you want to be a sponsor one day.
Yep.
But and actually Dunkin' Donuts. I have been searching for the other, which is Starbucks, because typically when I ask my virtual attendees who they would prefer or what they would like, they would, give me the they would typically tell me, well, you're only my second one, but it's been tea. And, we all know that Starbucks has like the biggest variety of teas that you can like get from them. But when I search them near, like the address of the attendee, Dunkin' Donuts always comes up. So Dunkin' Donuts has actually been great. The last two times I've kind of been late ordering, but they have been delivering right on time. And so I
Hmm.
start to panic at the 30-minute mark because I know that it takes a little while to get, the items. But yeah, Dunkin' Donuts has been able to get that order, through right away. And then, of course, DoorDash, they've been delivering it right on time also. So shout out to both of those.
Yes. I've
Uh,
never tried a tea from Dunkin' Donuts, but I love this one. It's really good.
yes, I ordered you some like a hibiscus tea, right? Because I
Well,
was like
it's kind of
debating.
minty. It tastes kind of
Yeah.
minty.
Yeah, so they didn't have the hibiscus tea that I ordered, and
Mm.
they called me and asked me but they gave me like all the options they had, and I chose the last one. It was something with like, honestly, I thought he said like passion fruit or something like that along the lines, but Hey, as long as you like it, I'm
Oh, I
happy.
love it. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
good,
yeah,
good.
I like it.
Awesome. Awesome. So what do you like about tea versus coffee?
Well, I have my doctor prohibited coffee because
Oh,
yeah,
gotcha.
my blood pressure. Yeah. So I've been drinking all kinds of teas and it relaxes me.
Mm-hmm.
And also I was having trouble with sleeping at night, so
Mm-hmm.
coffee doesn't help.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's
Of
why
course.
I'm trying to stay away from from
Y-
coffee.
Yeah, yeah. I
But
understand.
teas are really relaxing for me.
With the show now, I've been like go actually buying more teas and trying more teas too. And I can probably I mean tea is a big thing in Europe, where I'm from, but I have been predominantly drinking coffee, but I'm enjoying trying different teas now too. And like you said, yeah, it gives you like it's like a feel good
Hmm.
um atmosphere or whatever. But yeah,
Yeah.
awesome. So, tell me, how was it moving to the United States? How old were you? And just what was your experience initially coming to the country?
Well, I was very young. I
Mm-hmm.
was already married. I young when I was 17. I got
Mm-hmm.
married very young. So yeah, it was 17, and then when I came here, I was 20.
Mm-hmm.
So I practically grew up here.
Yeah.
And but when we came, I didn't have any idea what was it gonna be. But um, I really I feel like I adjusted really well when we got to the excuse me, place we were gonna live at. There was a lot of nice people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so lucky because I've met so many nice people through all my life that up to this day I keep all that friendship. Um, I just talked to a friend back in California, and I've known her for like since I came here,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm still in touch. So
Yeah.
you know, it was a good experience for me.
Well, it's also because you are very kind too, you
Oh,
know.
thank you,
Well,
thank you, thank you.
you're gonna attract people around you because you are just a genuine person yourself, and you're very caring. So I think that people, easily are drawn to you, and I think that you're also able. I mean, I know even via social media, I see you always complimenting and commenting and stuff. So I think that you like to keep in touch with people also, and that, you know.
My father always tells me that you give what you have, and
Mhm.
my grandparents raised me, and they raised me the way that I always have to be respectful, and I always have to be considerate through others, and just what I have is what I give, and they,
Mhm.
you know, so I think it has to do a lot with them, the way they
Yeah.
raised me.
Yeah, yeah. I understand. Yeah, of course. That's the, like, the foundation. That's how it all started for you. Yeah. I think that, right, I mean, that's why it's so important when that you like instill the right things into your children at a young age.
Yeah.
So, tell me, so you were initially married, right? And then you became a single mom. Um, so tell me, how was that? Were you like you had no relatives here in Georgia?
See, like going back a little bit, like I was telling you,
Mhm.
the way my grandparents raised me, they were like too protective. I was like living in a bubble,
Mhm.
and when I got married, it was like it's kind of funny because my grandparents were so strict. They didn't let me have a boyfriend.
Mhm.
So I was, sneaking to see him or whatever. And then and then one day, it was kind of late, and I was so scared to go back home. And what am I gonna do? And I didn't go back. I didn't. I stayed with my boyfriend, And we were so young, and I was like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? So my grandparents thought that, you can't come back home. You have to get married because you've already been with your boyfriend, and
Mhm.
that's how I got married. And then I was like, okay. We were like, but I was dating him for like, when I was 13, I met him. He was my neighbor, but I met him as like when I started talking to him, because yeah,
Mhm.
we knew each other. Our families knew each other. We were neighbors. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so it was like one family. So they said, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And then we're like, "Okay, yeah." So after that, when I got married, I started like depending on my husband, and I was very immature. And when he said we're gonna go to United States to visit or whatever, so I didn't thought much of it. I said, okay, let's go.
Mhm.
It's like a vacation or whatever. But then when we got here, his sister was living there. They invited us to come visit him, and then after that we stayed here. And after that, yeah, we decided that we were gonna stay here, and up until now.
So you came to visit and never left.
Exactly. Exactly. And you know, now that I think about it, I was like, oh my God, I wasn't even thinking, what am I gonna
Yeah.
do over there or nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
It was like, wow, now that I think about it, but I was too young.
Well, yeah, I think when you're young, you just don't think much of it. I moved to the United States because of my ex-husband too, and it was one of those like, I wanted him to stay with me in Germany because I had just graduated from being, like a medical school, and I wanted him to stay with me in Germany, but his family was there on military orders and they had to come back.
Oh,
They had to come back to the United States. So, I asked him if he would stay and he was like, "No, I'm not going to be able to stay here." So I was like, "Okay, well, if you can't stay here, then I'll come with you." And I was 19 at the time, going on 20, and we
oh,
like
we're about
really,
the same age.
yeah, we were really like, we wanted to be together, but it was the continents would separate us, right? So I ended up following him 6 months later, and I moved to the States, right before my 20th birthday. Um, and now when I think about it, or when I see my daughters, and they're kind of sort of approaching that age that I just up and left. I never questioned anything. I never like did any research. I had no idea where I was going. I got on the plane and just like, moved here. And I would probably, like, now that I'm older, I would definitely would have, considered or planned more or whatever. But I think that I'm just saying that to say that when you're young, you just don't, think
You
much
don't think exactly. Yeah.
of the
I
consequences,
didn't
or
even ask questions, nothing. I
yeah,
was like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
okay, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So of course you probably, how was life in Mexico? Like, do you feel like you were hopeful that you would live a better life in the United States, or did you have a good life there?
So
Like a
see,
stable.
when I was going to school,
Mhm.
I was going to college when I got married, and then my grandma told me not to leave school.
Mhm.
She wanted me to stay in school, but I
Mhm.
didn't. I felt like I was a married woman. I could do whatever I want. So, and I regret it. But
Mhm.
yeah. So I was like, I don't know much. My they were so strict that I just thought, if I get married, I can do whatever I want. They're not gonna tell me. So
Yeah.
uh, now that I'm talking about it, oh, I just
It's okay. I
can't
mean,
believe it.
you said you were 17. Hey, that's all that needs to be said. You were still very young and, like you said, immature, maybe a little naive too. But I think that when you are sheltered and raised up very strictly, you are chasing more like the freedom part, like you said, than
Yeah.
establishing a family or whatever. And so, I think that, in countries outside of America. And maybe there's some families that hold similar traditions, but I think that even in my culture, you do not leave the house unless you're married. And something like that, if you know, a young adult or young woman would have left their family's home and spend the night at a boy's house or a man's house, they would basically tell everybody, "Oh, she got married." That's
Yes, yeah,
So
that's what kind of happened to me.
I understand your story completely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the culture is very different.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So then you're in Georgia and now your marriage didn't how long did your marriage last?
See, when we got here from California, we struggled a lot. All the plans that we had didn't go through.
Oh.
We just everything went wrong,
Mhm.
and I was very disappointed.
Mhm.
We were very disappointed, and he find a job and he started working. I was when I first moved to California, I worked as a babysitter,
Mhm.
and it was a very nice lady. She let me bring my own child, and but when we got here, I wasn't working because I had two small children,
Mhm.
and then he was working, and we had our savings, but they didn't last too long, so we were
Mhm.
having a hard time. And then we started arguing, and mm, 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 and that's why our marriage just went through the gutter, and we started having trouble, and we got separated. We were fighting too much, and we didn't like that. We didn't like that to for our daughters
Right,
to
right.
watch all that.
Mhm.
So we decided just to separate,
Mhm.
and that was one of the things that I thought, if we were in California, this wouldn't have happened. We were
Oh
going to
yeah.
church. We were going to church. We were doing just fine over there. And
Yeah.
but yeah, so when I came and later, I started working, um, and then I started just me and my girls.
Mhm. Yeah. So so initially you basically were illegal, right?
Yeah.
So why do you think it's so hard becoming a legal resident? Or why did it take you so long to
Well, for us Mexicans, it's hard because we're just neighbors. We're
Mhm.
just right next to next door to say something. So I think they consider that our country it's a good country to live in, and it's hard for us to get legal, like other countries that they come and they do asylum, or it's
Mhm.
much easier for some, but for Mexicans it's not easy.
Because I mean, for me, initially, of course, I didn't understand when I first like moved to the States because I was an immigrant too, right? But then now
Yeah.
I've been here for, going on 20 years, in a couple years. But, I've spoken to many and, I worked with a lot of them too. And everyone that I have met has been hardworking, very kind, all about their family, and they just want to make a better life for themselves. So I really don't understand, like, if there is work available, why it's so hard for people to establish residency. Like, I don't understand. And I mean, I know, the media, of course, highlights mainly the negative things and the negative things that are happening. And I'm not saying that that there aren't people taking advantage of that too. But I would just say that the people I personally met have like been just very kind and hardworking people, and they're just trying to get ahead, and they're trying to establish a life. And so I just don't understand. I'm just curious, in your community, right? What are some of those discussions, or what do people speculate why it's so hard to just become a resident, or obtain a work permit? Like, why is it so difficult?
Yeah, but for us Mexicans, that's the main reason, that they
Mhm.
don't consider that we need to leave our country to come live here, because we
Mhm.
we have a free country. We are, you know, our Mexico is a very rich country, and
Mhm.
they say there's no reason for you to leave your country to come here. you know
Interesting.
that's why we as Mexicans, we know that for a fact,
Yeah.
because when you're in that, when you start that process to get legal, that's one of the things that you have to face.
Gotcha. So how has that process been for you?
Oh, it's been a long journey, because um I was representing myself. I didn't have a lawyer, so
Uh-huh.
there's a lot of laws that I don't know about,
Uh-huh.
and they just kept postponing and postponing my court day and my court day. And when it was ready, the date that I had to go, they canceled that day and they gave me a new one. And I'm telling you, I started my process in 2011.
Wow, 10 years
Yes,
ago.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Until I just, when the pandemic started, it was awful because I was ready to go to my last court, and they just canceled it because of all the pandemic and everything. But then I said, "Well, I think it's time for me to get a lawyer," and they changed my judge. So I was kind of like talking back and forth to her, and but after they changed it, the new judge was different. I didn't have that communication with her, so I said, I think it's time to get a lawyer.
Mhm.
And that's how the lawyer started me with a permit, which I didn't know I could have. That was one of the things that I didn't know about. But as soon as I hired him, he just said, "You're gonna get a permit," and then I that's how I started it.
So if anybody that's, watching the show is, considering immigrating, would you now um advise them to go
Oh,
ahead and
that's
get a
a
lawyer right
hard
away?
question. Well, yeah. Get a lawyer, because you'll be lost. You will lose a lot of good opportunities
Mhm.
because you don't know the law very good.
Yeah, yeah.
So my
So
advice
you
is,
think
yeah,
if
definitely
you
get
had
a
one
lawyer.
10 years ago, you would have had a
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely. By this time, I will be a citizen.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you are there some lawyers that are like that you would recommend, or any programs or organizations that you know of that people could like reach out to?
Well, the reason I hired this lawyer is that when I was going to court, while I was detained on immigration, I saw him in the court. The way he talked, the way he was helping other people. That's what made me hired him. But
Mhm.
I don't know. I can tell about others because I don't know. But this one that I have, it's been a good one.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
I'm glad to hear that, and I'm
I've
so
never
excited.
I've never went to the ones, the help that they offer, like from my country. I've never tried that. So I don't
Mhm.
know. I
Gotcha.
don't have experience with that, so I don't know.
Mhm. Gotcha. Okay. Well, I appreciate you still sharing that, so that, anybody that hears your story can, make the determination and just say, "Hey, I should probably just get a lawyer and, you know, instead of trying myself.
Well, there has to be like you have to have a status to start with a process.
Mhm.
You cannot just start a process without having a status. Like
Right.
like like when I started mine, I got pulled I got pulled over by the police, and I didn't have a driver license, so
Mhm.
they took me to jail.
Oh
And
no.
and yeah, and at that time, uh, there was still the law that immigration was in the jail.
Uh-huh.
So as soon as I got in the jail, immigration got me.
Dang. And then
Yes.
what?
And then I went to the facility that was in Irwin, and I stayed there like for 3 months waiting.
Wow.
Yes, I stayed 3 months, but they gave me a court like 2 or 3 weeks that I got to the place. They gave me a court, so I was in front of the judge, and I told her my situation. I said how long I've been in this country. I have 3 daughters that they were born here, so she just canceled my deportation and gave me a case, gave me a
Wow.
pile of papers to fill out, and she told me fill them out the best you can and come back.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome. You know, when I um went for my you know how you get an appointment when you get, well, I don't know if you've made it this far, but for me, I had to go to like a video interview with me and my ex-husband, and we had to like sit down with the immigration officer, and it was like an interview where they basically were making sure that we were not like faking a marriage or whatever. And I was actually in the early stage of my pregnancy with our first child together. And I mean, I think she could tell that, it was a genuine connection. It wasn't
I was gonna say that.
anything
They
fake.
always say that if you have kids, it's easy,
Yeah.
and
So
this is more.
so then I get a paper in the mail that says like I have an appointment to get like my stamp in the passport for to basically become a permanent resident. Um on like I don't it was like a Monday, right? But then I ended up having my baby on that Thursday before that. So I was like
Wow.
pressuring the doctors to let me out on time so that I could go to the immigration office on Monday. And I was like pushing
Yeah,
myself.
because you can miss
I
the
had
appointments.
I had a C-section, right? So I'm like, please, I need you to discharge me on Sunday because I need to be at the immigration office on Monday. And they're like, yeah, yeah, we'll figure that out. And I'm like, no, I need to go. I need to get out of here. This is like finally, the last step I've been waiting for.
Yeah.
And oh man, I remember on Monday morning walking into the immigration office, holding my stomach because I couldn't even walk
Oh.
straight up. And this lady was like, "When are you due?" I'm like, I just had my baby on Thursday, and I had a C-section. I'm here to get my appointment, and they were like, get her in." Like they felt so bad for me.
Oh.
But that's when the lady told me that she was like, I can just really tell that you guys are, genuinely in love and that this is a real relationship. So she, instead of giving me a 5-year visa, gave me a 10-year visa.
Wow.
Oh, green card. Yeah. I was like, whoa, thank you so much. And I think it's like you said, it's like being like putting positive energy out, you get positivity in return. And, I think that, she saw that it was all genuine and not fake, but she, whatever impression we left with her, she ended up giving, making the process for a lot easier for me and giving me a 10-year green card instead of 5 years because we weren't married fully 2 years at the time. So that's, I think, when they only give you a 5-year visa first and then they extend it. But anyways, just
Wow.
Yeah, she gave me 10 years from the get-go, and I was very, very appreciative of that.
Yeah, I bet
Yeah.
you were.
Yeah. I see so many bad stories though, and I feel like horrible for the people that are trapped like in those what are they called again? The
Yeah, detention centers.
detention
Yeah,
centers. You know,
detention centers.
yeah, I was watching like when I was in California and in the beginning of the pandemic, I was watching a documentary about like basically people that are being taken because of and being illegal and not having a legal status. And that was just like so sad for me, to see like families torn apart.
Yeah,
And you know it's like the desperation to for a better life, and then you come over here and then you fear to be deported and everything, when the process, I feel like, could be made so much easier if people just want to work, because there's plenty of work here.
exactly.
Yeah.
When I was there at the detention center,
Mhm.
um, I've seen a lot of women that um, they weren't living here. They got them when they were trying to cross the border.
Oh.
So they were from Central America, like
Uh-huh.
Guatemala, Honduras. They
Mhm.
don't speak English at all,
Mhm.
and they didn't have translators. When I got there, they were women that they've been there like for 7 months,
Wow.
and they were clueless. They didn't know what, because they didn't understand.
What I
And
wonder why they hold them there that long. Like, what's the
I have
purpose?
no I have no answer for that. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
but when I got there, I was their translator. When the immigration officers went to see them or whatever,
Yeah.
I was explaining them the situation, and I told them, I can believe it. You don't have a translator here.
Yeah, that is crazy.
This girl got so sick, and she was having a stomach pain so sharp, and she was crying, and she's been there. She was like that, like for a long, long time, and they didn't help her
Wow.
until and when one night when she started like feeling like that, I just called them on the speaker, and I said, we need help here.
Mhm.
And that was the first time that she went to see a doctor, because I could translate for her. And I'm a believer. I my parents always took me to church, and then after I
Mhm.
grew up, it was my personal decisions to uh, um, keep going to church and everything.
Right,
So
right.
I felt like, because I was very sad that I was there, but then he gave me hope, and I said, I'm sorry. That's
It's
why you brought me here, to
mhm.
help all these women.
Women, yeah.
Is so many, you have no idea. It's like my life had a purpose, a
Mhm.
meaning. I feel like I could help somebody, and that's a lot for me. I love helping people in
Mhm.
need,
Yeah.
and it was amazing, the feeling that I had by helping them.
Of
And some of
course.
them some of them could go home. Some of them could leave that place and get back to
Because
their
of your help.
countries. And it was unbelievable, Benisa, that they didn't have a translator.
That
How
is
could how
crazy.
it is. It is.
Yeah. Well, 'cause how could they even determine if the person is in danger or whatever is going on with them and why they
Exactly.
were
Exactly.
coming there in the first place?
Yes.
So, you know how they talked about the like the kids camps? So that is pretty much really how it's been. y- Like I'm sure you were at like a women's camp, I assume. So, you know
Yeah.
how so do you think it all is like pretty much true how what they were showcasing on.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt
Mhm.
it. But in my time, I didn't see that with kids.
Mhm.
It wasn't. That didn't exist. But yeah, I do believe. I do believe it. It's like um it's like a story that you just think is just on TV or whatever. And
Yeah, yeah.
that is, it's unbelievable, but it is real. Um, now these days, I was listening to the news, and they're about to close the facility that I was in,
Mm-hmm.
because they were like doing surgery on women, um, for not to have kids, and
Oh my goodness.
they didn't allow that. They were just doing it, and there's a lot of women that are complaining about it.
Yeah,
And yeah, because they don't want to have more kids.
that is
And
crazy.
yeah,
So whoever was like running that facility or that center was doing surgeries on women to basically sterilize them
yeah,
so that they
yeah.
could not have any children.
Hmm.
Wow. That is like, against like human rights, and I mean, so many laws are broken
Yeah, that
by doing that.
facility is like 3 hours.
From here?
Yeah, from here. And when we had to go to court, we had to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, uh, going through all the jail, all the process. It was 3 hours. We we were in the bus at 6 a.m. so we can be here at 8, 9. No, 6, 7, 8, 8, 9. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was a long process when we had to come to court,
I can
but we
imagine.
didn't care as long as we could talk to the judge and try to, you know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I
speed
I
up
can
the
see
process.
you. I can see you like flourishing in that role to fight for those women. Because I also like the time that I've known you, you've always been sort of like the leader or spokesperson for like the group or your department that you've worked with. And I think that's where you gain your respect also, is because you're not afraid to share good and bad things, with people that you work with, or people you may even report to. But you spoke for those that cannot be heard or don't have a voice because they are too shy or cannot speak the language. And yeah, I truly believe that you were put there for a reason. I think so too.
um, it was so hard when I left, because there were people like, don't leave us here," and they were crying, and I was crying, and I'm like, "Oh
Oh
my
my
god."
God.
It was so hard, yeah. And I have a few on my Facebook that made it, that get to
Oh,
stay here, yeah.
yeah.
And we stay in touch, and
That's
some of them
awesome.
that are in their country, that still I'm still in touch with them.
So did you have your kids then?
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
sure that was hard too, being
Oh,
separated
yeah,
from your
it was so
kids.
hard. Yeah, it was so hard. I don't know, like you mentioned that you see me on the social media. I'm always talking about my oldest daughter to be my right hand, because she
Hmm.
really is. She really is. She's the one that stay in charge with her sisters while I was locked up.
Hmm.
Because see, I don't have any relatives here.
Right.
I don't have like cousins or nothing. So it's
Hmm.
hard.
I know.
It's hard. And my daughter, she's always been there for me.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Thank you. Thank your daughter for me.
Thank you, daughter. Yeah.
So,
She's just right here with me, helping me.
I know she helped you with your makeup and everything. That's
Yeah,
so
and the
awesome.
setup and everything. Yeah.
Hmm. So, what challenges did your kids experience growing up here?
um, well, for them and for me as well,
Hmm.
it was that when we were just us, I had to work, and if they wanna participate in any activity at school, it was impossible because I
Hmm.
couldn't take them. I
Yeah.
had to. My oldest daughter, she has a beautiful voice. She
Hmm.
can sing. And I remember that she wanted to enter a contest. Well, actually, she did. She went with a friend,
Hmm.
and she won. but it was like a process. She has to go to another contest to see, but she couldn't make it because I couldn't take her, because
Yeah.
it was either working or just going,
Yeah.
and I couldn't afford missing a day.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I think, I think it was hard for them, but they adjusted at the situation.
Yeah, yeah. I was in the same boat too. Yeah. It's very unfortunate, and it's really because it's you don't have that support system because you are
Yeah.
here by alone.
And
Mhm.
always the oldest daughter is the one that, you know takes the responsibility. And
Mhm.
I really appreciate that my daughter, was my younger daughter consider her second mom, their
Second
second
mom.
mom.
Mhm.
Yeah. Sometimes they were asking her for permission instead of me. So,
Mhm.
and they're just, they love us.
That's good.
Yeah.
What's the so she's much older than the other two, or
Yeah. Yeah.
um
She's 9 years apart from the
oh,
second one.
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my oldest daughter is 31.
Uh-huh.
My middle, well, the other daughter is 22, 20, and 3.
Yeah. And let's talk about the 3-year-old. That's a good
Yay!
leeway into I want you to talk
From
about
20 to 3.
I
Start all
know.
over
How
again.
did that happen? No, I know how it happened.
You want me to tell you?
So I vividly remember you telling me that you
It
were
was
pregnant.
because of you.
So it was a surprise, a big surprise, right? Okay, go ahead, tell your story. I don't want to talk about.
No, when I say it was because of you. Because when you were pregnant, I got like, it was like a virus or something
It was in the
that,
water.
that you
I think
gave
there
me.
were
It
like
was in the water. I
7
remember.
babies
Yeah,
or something.
we were
I
all
think they were
joking
like
because
yeah, yeah.
something in that hotel, something. I don't know what.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, I was 46, and I thought I was going through menopause.
Mhm.
You know, I didn't know much about that, but I thought maybe my period doesn't come because it's not gonna come at all. I'm
Mhm.
starting my menopause. Okay. Oh well. Um, so I just leave it like that. I wasn't feeling bad or anything. I was still working, you know. But my breast started hurting. I'm like, oh, this is not this is not menopause. I don't think so. So I went and got me a pregnancy test. I was even inside the store, and I went straight to the bathroom, and in like 2, 3 seconds came out positive.
Mhm.
I'm like, I was speechless. I'm like,
Mhm.
no. And I was with my daughters, and I didn't tell the younger ones, but I told my eldest daughter, I'm like, look at this. And she's like, ew, what you got that? When you find it? I'm like, it's fine. No, it's not. Yes. Mom, this is not a good joke. Like, I'm not joking. She's like, Mom. She was just in shock. And I'm like, oh, I have to go to the doctor. She's like, it's gonna be a false positive. It has to be.
Mhm.
Don't worry. That was a Saturday. So I had to wait until Monday and to go to the doctor. So I went, and then I told her what happened, and they she just with a, I don't know how to the thing that can hear your heart or whatever.
Mhm.
She was using that, but she's like, I can't hear a thing. I don't know.
Mhm.
And I'm like, okay. And she's like, let's go. And she took me to the machine where they have the ultrasounds.
Mhm.
And it was just right there. I could see it was formed already. It was the head, the body, the hands, the legs. I was 4 months pregnant. 4 months, 17 weeks. And then we heard the
Yeah.
heartbeat. My hands were sweaty. My daughter was crying. And my partner, he was crying too. He didn't have any kids.
Yeah.
He's younger than me. And we have mixed emotions. But at the end of the day, we were happy. We were happy. And then that's how I found out I was pregnant.
That is, I just remember because you were like, remember I wasn't feeling it because you were not like feeling good, right? And you couldn't like figure out what was wrong with you, but you thought you were going through menopause or whatever. I just remember you would like talk about how you had hot flashes and stuff like that, and you just wrote everything off to menopause.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you were
It's like
creating a new life.
that hot flashes,
Mhm.
don't having your period, that's
Yeah, yeah,
menopause.
yeah. Yeah,
So,
especially, at
but when
someone
I
like your
started,
age.
yeah, when I started like with my breast hurting, and
Other
that's not a,
stuff. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I remember you would tell me you're pregnant, and no, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Yeah,
And yeah,
yeah.
like you were like, yes, you are. Oh my God, it was such an experience.
So then, I guess talk about your pregnancy. So you ended up having him early, right? Because they couldn't like figure out what your due date would be, right? Because I remember
No,
there
yeah,
being a
because
confusion.
I didn't know when was my last period. But
Yeah.
no, the thing is that I got preeclampsia,
Mhm.
and they told me I couldn't just leave the hospital when I went to the doctor for a visit
Mhm.
and then they sent me to the hospital because my feet were swollen, my blood pressure was high, and it was dangerous for the baby and
Yeah.
for me more than for the baby. And
Mhm.
then they kept me at the hospital. They didn't let
Yeah.
me out. I stayed like 6 days before they do a C-section because
Mhm.
um, they were like trying to induce me to labor, but also they were giving me other medication that they were like this with the medication for the
Oh, it was
it
like
was it was
stopping,
hard for
slowing
me
it down.
because I wasn't dilated. Is that how you say it? I don't know the word.
Dilating, dilating.
Dilating,
Mhm.
dilating. Thank you. Yeah.
Mhm.
And they were came and checked me, and I was three. I never passed from that 3 centimeters, and it's just hard.
Mhm.
And one of the nurses, I said, what is wrong? I mean, what am I gonna do? What are you gonna do? I can't just stay like this.
Mhm.
It was hard. It was very, very hard. And then one night, I fainted, and my partner noticed it, and he was talking, Fabiola, are you okay? And I wasn't responding, and now that he told me what happened, he called the nurse, and then a lot of nurses and doctors, they were trying to, you know, make to hey, wake up, and I don't
Mhm.
know what they did to me, but after that, they decided to do this C-section.
Mhm.
I almost died. I almost
Wow.
died. Yeah, and when they did the C-section, I was so afraid. I just told the doctor,
Mhm.
please don't, I don't want to die. There's 3 kids waiting
Mhm.
for me at home. Please, I don't want to die.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a C-section before.
Mhm.
I had my 3 daughters vaginal, so I was scared.
Yeah.
But now I
It's
have much
scary. Yeah.
respect for
Mhm.
women that have C-section.
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
they said, "Oh, they go the easy way." Excuse me?
Right.
No,
Yeah.
no, no, no. But yeah, it
Yeah.
was very hard. And
Mhm.
then he was 34 weeks
Mhm.
when he was born. Um, he didn't have to be like with oxygen or anything.
Mhm.
He was
Incubated.
breathing on his own, and but he had to go to the NICU,
Mhm.
and he was there for a month. I went home, and he stayed at the hospital. And when I got home, I saw his crib and all the things that I have prepared for him, and it was so hard for me
Mhm.
not to bring him home with me. But I said, well, he's gonna be better taking care of it at the hospital.
Yeah.
So I was trying to be positive. And
Yeah.
um, I saw that it was gonna be hard for me to go see him because of the C-section, but it's something like inside you when you have to do things
Mhm.
that you find the strength
Yeah.
that you didn't know you had.
Mhm.
So that happened to me. At that time, my partner was working out of state, and he had to leave, and I had to go by myself to the
Mhm.
hospital every night to go see my son. I had to drive, and I had to, you know, walk and everything. When he was coming with me, he was driving. Well, he was pushing. I was sitting on a wheelchair, but then I had to do it, and
Mhm.
you know, and I had to
Yeah.
go. I was going every day, every day, every day to see my baby.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's like, he's such like he was a surprise and then he was a boy because you had 3 girls. So I'm sure he's like super,
Yeah.
super spoiled.
Yes. He is.
And that's okay.
His sisters love him.
Yeah,
At the
yeah.
beginning, they were so jealous. I mean, seriously, these big girls
Yeah,
were
yeah.
so jealous, and they said they don't want it to be a girl. And my oldest daughter, she's like, I don't want a boy because I know you wanted a boy all this time, and you're not gonna love us. You're just gonna give me a boy. I'm like, get out of here. And as for my partner, it's his only son. So,
Mhm.
from both sides, it
Yeah.
was a blessing. Yeah.
Yes, of
Um,
course.
it was hard. It was hard because when my daughter was gonna turn 18, I had these thoughts in my mind that I started planning what I'm gonna do because I don't have to be taking care of babies no more.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I was,
yeah.
um, there was things that I wanted to do because I've never planned to have more kids.
Mhm.
And then when I found out I was pregnant, see, when I was living, when I was growing up with my grandparents, I didn't have a family with a mom, a dad, a brothers and sisters,
Mhm.
and I always wanted that. And I said,
Yeah.
when I grow up, I want to have a family on my own with
Mhm.
lots of children, a mom and a dad.
Mhm.
So my daughters always tell me, being a mom is is your profession. That's what you want to do.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
yeah.
are the best mom, and that's true. I didn't regret a minute having my son.
Mhm.
When I tell certain people that I was pregnant, are you having it? Are you crazy? And I felt kind of bad because I wasn't gonna abort my child.
Mhm.
No way. And they say it's gonna be challenging. I'm up to it.
Mhm.
I'm up to it.
And
And
guess look
up
l-
until this day, I don't regret it.
look how young he's keeping you. You look amazing, Fabi. Y- You don't
Yes.
look like you have a daughter at 31. You definitely, I mean, I think that kids keep you young, with their young spirit.
It's because,
and
I
keeps you.
always, I always wanted to be a mom and to
Mhm.
that love that I didn't have.
Mhm.
I had a lot of love from my grandparents, but I
Mhm.
always knew they weren't my parents. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so all the love that I needed, that I needed from a mom,
Mhm.
I'm gonna give it to my children.
That's beautiful.
And
Yeah.
they're the one that keep me going.
Mhm.
And now that you mentioned Benjamin, he keeps me going. I mean, I'm 50 years old, and
Mhm.
and I get tired. My energy is 10, while his energy is 100%.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
he keeps me going,
Yeah.
and I have support from my daughters, from my
Mhm.
partner. They they're help my big helpers.
Mhm.
So we are a happy family.
So Benjamin today is, you said, 3 years old.
Yeah, he is almost 4 because he was
Almost
born
4.
in December. Yeah.
Right, I remember. Wow, time is flying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, how has Benjamin's development been? Because and I'm only asking this question because I know Fabi, of course, in my personal life, and she's shared some things with me. Um,
Yes.
do
Yes.
you think that some of the challenges that he's had are due to you having him late, or is this something that he inherited, or?
Well, while I was pregnant, they told me, they always, on every visit, they always told me, you have to be careful because I haven't mentioned it, but I have diabetes.
Mhm.
And they would tell me, oh, you have to keep your levels very, very good.
Mhm.
Every time I went, they say, he can die. He can die always. And
Mhm.
they told me, because of your age, you might have a Down syndrome. And they did tests while I was pregnant. They did a test and it came out negative. And I told the nurse, I said, I mean the doctor, I said, well, you look at the way of science, but to me, my son is a miracle. And I
Mhm.
know that if God sent him to me, he's not gonna he's gonna finish the work on him. He's
Mhm.
gonna be a healthy baby. He's gonna be okay. And even if he wasn't, even if he had Down syndrome, I wouldn't care. I
Yeah.
wouldn't. I will love him and I will just be up to the challenge and just take care of him.
Mhm.
And then it came out negative. When I had him,
Mhm.
they did another test because they couldn't believe it. They were like expecting that he had to have it. He they did 3 tests
Oh my God.
total, and they all came negative.
This is so unnecessary.
Exactly. I didn't understand why, but while he grew up, I could see certain behavior um, that I'm concerned about. He didn't crawl.
Mhm.
He wasn't reaching his milestone.
Mhm.
Um, so that concerned me. I had to take him to therapy to help him crawl. He started crawling at when he was 1 year old,
Mhm.
and then he started walking when he was 3. That was my biggest concern. He was holding things and walk, but he wasn't walking by his own. So I took him to therapy, and
Mhm.
it took him a long time, and he wasn't walking. He wasn't walking, and they suspended the therapy. They said because he's not making progress. So I said, but well, there has to be a reason why he's not walking. Um, I noticed that he was
Right.
kind of that I noticed that he was kind of crooked, and
Mhm.
I mentioned that to his pediatrician. So he sent me to the specialist, um, and they check on his spine,
Mhm.
and they said one of the the bones, I don't know how to say it, was crooked. Only
Mm-hmm.
one, but that was enough to make it a crooked.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but he told me that has nothing to do with him not walking. But I mean, I observed him, and I see that he was afraid that he doesn't have good balance.
Mm-hmm.
So it has to be a reason. But they said that's not the reason. And also he said we have to wait until he's 5 years old. Maybe he's gonna correct itself. And I'm like, are you sure? All that time? What about if he doesn't walk all that time?
Yeah.
And he's like, he's gonna walk. You'll see. Okay, okay. So one day, all of a sudden, I remember I was here in my living room. He started walking. He let go of the table and he
Yeah.
started walking. But he was walking like this.
Like wobbling.
Oh my God. I cried so much when I saw him do that. And then after that, he started little by little, little by little.
Uh-huh.
And then he started walking. And that has taught me to be patient and to understand that
Mm-hmm.
he has his time.
Yeah.
And I just have to keep working with him. He's not talking. He doesn't talk. I'm waiting because I'm on a long, long list waiting for a speech therapy. And also, um, I, I'm not sure, but I'm gonna look for him to be tested on to see if he has autism
Mm-hmm.
because some of the things, some of the behavior leads to that.
Yeah. So the doctors never diagnose him with anything?
No, the funny thing is like I always have to tell them when I notice things,
Mm-hmm.
and it's me that I have that's because what I tell them, they send me to the specialist or whatever to look farther on the problem.
Wow.
Yeah, and when I told the pediatrician, when I bring my son for you to to check him out,
Mm-hmm.
you don't notice things. So, and she told me that I'm the one that's with him all the time, and I'm the one that knows him better.
But if his spine is not aligned properly, then she should know that as a doctor, right?
And the thing is that because of me being with diabetes, I have to go a lot for ultrasounds
Mm-hmm.
to be checking on his development, and they never saw that. Also, my son, his head is
Mm-hmm.
flat.
Mm-hmm.
It was flat, but that was because they had him when he was born. They had him on lay down all the time, like in that position. They didn't put him on the sides, like and
Yeah.
that's why his head went flat like that.
I wonder if that, I guess I don't know, if that could like adjust later on as he, is more mobile and walks and as he grows. I don't know if that, that changes or not. But I can imagine that that was probably the reason why. But you would think, well, I guess again, I'm not a professional, so I don't know if they can turn the baby, to lay on all sides so that there's like, equal weight.
It's to me, it's like they clay, and they were born premature,
Mhm.
so you have to like work with them, and
Mhm.
there's like these pillows, special pillows that you can put the baby on the sides,
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
and it's like like he was feel like forming, we can say. So being him like that all the time, his head is like clay, so it was like okay, He went like that, flat.
Oh.
And I know they always tell you don't put him on his tummy.
Mm-hmm.
That's not recommended. But I'm not talking about on the tummy, but
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah. You're
side,
talking about the
side.
side.
You know,
Yeah.
like because laying like that all the time, and you know the hospital they're not gonna have him. He was
Right,
all the
right.
time, un, until I got visit to visit him. I could hold him, and I would stay as long as I could, but it wasn't enough. So all day they had him just like that. But they they said that has nothing to do with it. So,
Mm.
but you know, all those things made me realize that I have to be really smart and really like pushing to help my son because I feel like I'm his advocate. That I
Yeah.
have to fight for him,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Just like you
and
fought
that
for those, for your other children and for those
exactly,
women at the,
exactly, yeah,
yeah.
exactly, exactly. So I have to understand the system because to me it's ridiculous that I have to wait months for him to start therapy.
Mm-hmm. I
It's because
agree.
of the pandemic, and they said it's because of the pandemic that they this and that. But you know, we're not talking about just um, oh he has like stomach ache or something. No, this is serious. I need to know. My son is
Yeah.
growing up, and I want to help him. You know, with milestones and everything.
Of course.
He's gonna start going to school. I need to know if he's gonna be able to
Mm-hmm.
be in a group of kids and to learn the way that the kids do. He's gonna be 4.
Yeah.
So I wanted to, even though I don't work, and the reason I don't work is because I have to go to the therapies, and
Right, right.
I need a lot of days. So
Yeah.
um I was talking to my partner, and we decided that maybe we can put him in a little school, you know, so he can start like interacting with other kids. He's just
Mm-hmm.
here with me. We have a lot of toys for him, but it's not the same, Benisa. He needs
Yeah.
to interact with other kids. I
Mm-hmm.
was trying to, you know, to find a mom with kids my age and be friends maybe and put
Mm-hmm.
kids together so they can play. But there's this neighbor that I have, and I told her, you know, why don't we just get together and so the kids can play? But she was like, oh, okay. I respect that because some people are not that sociable, and she was a Hispanic, but I didn't want to like be too pushy, you know. So I need him to interact with other kids,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
because I think that that would help his development too, seeing other children,
yeah,
in their, like, in the, like, writing or reading or coloring or doing things, building stuff, that will trigger his interest also when he sees kids his age, doing things. But I think the first step is really diagnosing and figuring out exactly
exactly, yeah.
what
And to answer your question,
is.
I don't think that was because of my age that he's having all these
Mhm.
issues, because I my nephew, he's 25, 26, and his girlfriend about the same age. They have 2 kids with autism. I know a lot of young
Oh,
couples that
yeah,
have
yeah.
so that has nothing to do with
Yeah,
age.
yeah. So do you think he is autistic then? Do you think?
They were helping me, and I
Mhm.
went to their house, and they were just because now they're I'm not gonna take like their they're not gonna give me a diagnosis. I understand that, but they know
Right.
a lot, and they
About
can
it, yeah.
tell, you know, the behavior and everything.
Mhm.
And Benjamin has a lot of behavior that leads to believe that he might
Yeah.
have it.
Yeah. Well, I hope that you find, some closure soon. Any of the listeners or viewers, if you have any suggestions for Fabi, or if you know of any
Yes, I
organizations or
appreciate it.
any specialty doctors that can help her, please comment.
Um,
Um, or reach out. You can inbox, or send a message to benisascafe@gmail.com and share any information that you have regarding this subject.
I
Go
was
ahead.
I reached out to a friend that I know has a kid with autism, and I asked her a few questions. But the thing is that your pediatrician have to like write you the how can I say this word, the referral. I need a
Yeah.
referral from my pediatrician. I was
Uh-huh.
looking on the internet, and I called a few places for autism, but they told me that it has to come from my pediatrician
There's a
first.
lot of, what do
And
they
it's
call
kind
it?
of
Like red
frustrating for me.
tape. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're not, they're not helping you get ahead and getting what you need. Why is it so hard to get a referral? I don't understand. I think that
I mean, I did got a referral, and she referred me to the. Can I say the name? It's okay.
I guess so, yeah.
Uh, the Marcus Institute.
Mhm.
That's where she refers me to. So what they have to do is they have to send from their office. They have to send all my son's information to them, and I
Mhm.
have to wait for them to call me. So 2 weeks passed, they didn't call me. So I called them to
Mhm.
make sure they have the information of my son, and if he's on the waiting list.
Yeah.
And she told me, "Oh, I don't know. I'm just getting the call, but we're behind. We're 2 months behind. When we get to the date they send us your son's information, we're gonna call you. When is
Wow.
that gonna be? How long is it gonna
Yeah.
take?
Yeah.
Is it the same for the speech therapy?" She gave me 5 different places. I called 5 of them. One of them is closed. 4 of them, they have a waiting list.
I think that's what I'm finding a lot with a lot of doctors right now. That, this pandemic
Ugh.
um has really messed up a lot of stuff, and the waiting lists for a lot of different things, especially
Mhm.
doctors' offices, specialty doctors. The waiting list is very long.
Mhm.
Um So, Fabi, I'm gonna, let you know if I hear of anything,
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I'll definitely, I'll keep we keep in touch anyways through social media, but if I come across anything, I definitely will share. Um,
Thank you.
I'm open to doing play dates with you. My son is 4, so or 4.5 now. So, we can talk offline and see when we can get together and go to like a playground or whatever. I'm definitely up for that, especially, right now I'm not really, I don't work for corporate America, so my schedule is a little bit more flexible. So,
That's good to
I
me.
I'm really sorry that you're, going through that and that you're having such a rough time with that, but I hope that, you get an answer soon so that you
Thank you.
can help him in his development, and you can, kind of target whatever deficiencies he has,
Yeah.
and hopefully, he will talk to you soon and share all the fun things with you.
I
um
can't wait.
yeah, I know. Well, he's so like such a happy kid. I always see his like videos and stuff. So, he's in very good spirits. So,
He's so ready for Halloween. He's very excited.
that's good.
He knows a few words.
Uh-huh.
Pumpkin,
Uh-huh.
trick or treating. He's like
Ah.
trick or treat. So he's so ready because he watches some videos about it, and we already have him accustomed, and we're so excited for Halloween. So yeah, he talks a few words,
Well, that's
but
good.
not sentences. But
Yeah.
that's a beginning. And
Yeah.
I buy him all this the flashcards, and
Mhm.
I'm trying to help him out, and
Yeah.
Oop, I hear him.
It's okay. Well,
So yeah.
Fabi, thank you so much for your time. I really enjoyed our conversation. I learned so much about you that I did not know. So it just kind of tells me again why you're such an amazing person.
Oh, thank you so
Um,
much. Remember when I met you, what I told you? That you reminded me of
uh,
my best friend, remember? And you said, well, give me a
oh
hug.
yes,
You
yes,
were
I do
so nice
remember.
when I met you, and
I do
I felt
remember
the
that.
connection.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Well, I'm
and
so glad.
I wanna say that that it's important to me that when you went to work over there and you were our boss, there's a lot of things, a lot of changes that you did, and you was like, um, we were working there, but we couldn't attend the meetings, and
Mhm.
you started to bring us to the meetings, and you know to including us, and I thought that was so nice of you, and you always including us, you know what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
So that was a very nice thing, and I have so much respect for you, and I don't know if I've already told you, but I thought you, when I saw you, like, you were, I admire you. You're very smart,
Oh,
and
thank
you're
you.
very, like, you are a nice person, and I appreciate what you did for us ladies that were working at that
Of
time that you were there at the
course.
hotel.
Of course. My number one priority was always taking care of the people that, work with me. I never see people as like people that work under me. I always thought of everybody like we're all a team. I'm not better than you or another person. And so I just wanted, kind of equality for all. And I knew that together we could make a lot
Yeah,
happen and
exactly.
achieve a lot of goals. And we did that. Yeah.
Oh yes, we did. I miss
Yeah, we
those days
did.
so
I
much. I
know.
remember when that eclipse, all that you did, that you organized a lot of things, and you have all
Uh-huh.
those glasses for us to see. I mean, it was so much fun.
Yeah, yeah, that
I
was a lot
remember
of fun.
the days that you made games for us to play outside, and I mean, it was such
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, I know
Yeah,
I missed
I
it
miss
too.
those days.
Yeah, me too. Well, thank you again. Thank you, Fabi, for your
Oh,
time.
thank you, thank you.
For everyone that's watching, please make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. Again, we're looking for information for Fabi in particular, so please share anything that you know. And
It'll be appreciated.
make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube, but we're also now available on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast,
Ooh.
and a few others that are mentioned on our Facebook page also. So make sure you follow us on our social media handles, which are, Instagram and Facebook. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you, Fabi, for your
Thank
time.
you. Thank you. It was fun. And thank you for my tea. Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. Enjoy it and tell your family I said hi.
Okay, thank you. And I will show
All
you.
right.
Say hey.
Ah, yeah,
Good.
yeah, yeah.
Talk to me,